Will Howard and Ohio State deserve to celebrate after dominating Tennessee. Will Howard put the rose in his mouth, smiled, flexed for the cameras and ran to his offensive line for a picture. After thanking the unit for keeping him upright throughout the game, Ohio State did not allow a sack. The Buckeyes quarterback ran to do an interview with ESPN. Then, he had one more stop before heading to the locker room, the student section, to celebrate Ohio State's 42-17 win over Tennessee in the first round of the college football playoff. It was pure joy and excitement for the Kansas State transfer who came to Ohio State to play in games like this. He came to Ohio State to win a national championship, raise his NFL draft stock and share the moments with his family along the way. He had plenty of reasons to celebrate. In the biggest game of his short Ohio State career, he completed 24 of 29 passes for 311 yards with 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. It was one of Howard's best games of the season, and the 7th time he completed at least 80% of his attempts, an Ohio State record. Howard was one of many Buckeyes who shined on the big stage. Jeremiah Smith, the National Freshman of the Year by many outlets, caught 6 passes for 103 yards and 2 touchdowns. Emeka Egbuka had 5 receptions for 81 yards. And running backs Tiarivean Henderson and Quinshon Judkins each had 2 rushing touchdowns. After weeks of hearing how bad the offense was in the 13-10 loss to Michigan, Ohio State let everything loose against Tennessee and showed exactly why it has been referred to as the most talented team in the country. Ohio State had 4 receivers catch a pass on Saturday, all of them former 5-star recruits Smith, Egbuka, Carnell Tate, and Brandon Inniss, who had a 6-yard reception with the backups. Henderson, too, was a 5-star recruit, and Judkins has turned into one of the best running backs in the country. Bottom line, Ohio State was more talented than Tennessee, but for the first time this season in a big game the Buckeyes took advantage of their talent gap and left no doubt about the result. It was clear from the start that the coaching staff was punching all of the right buttons. "We called this game more aggressively, there's no doubt about that," Coach Ryan Day said. "But we also did some things in this game that maximized what we had in our strengths and minimized our deficiencies." Howard was thrilled with the game plan. "You saw. It was a pretty good game," he said when asked what excited him about the coach's plan to attack Tennessee. "It was more than pretty good. It was Ohio State's best offensive game since the loss to Oregon." Ohio State scored 42 points and averaged 7.4 yards per play and 4.7 yards per rushing attempt against a Tennessee defense that ranks in the top 10 nationally in all 3 categories.